The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
They gave me my theme music!
This is a Planet Fanatics production.
Have y'all seen this? I did not. Thank you for this, Reese. I'll end it on. I'll end tonight on this. I did not see this. It says Chadwick Boseman portrayal of the Black Panther. Well, let's go back up here so you can see what the title says. Thank you for this, Reese. I did not see this. Chadwick Boseman. One Black Adam star could nail the role of Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther if the MCU decides to bring T'Challa back in Avengers 6. Chadwick Boseman's portrayal of Black Panther was one of the greatest iterations of the character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. His passing left a huge void not only in the franchise but also in the hearts of fans. There had been a lot of rumors circulating that the studio could potentially revive the character in future installments, particularly in the upcoming Avengers saga. In fact, fans have already suggested one actor from Black Adam's franchise to take on the role. Fans suggested Aldis Hodge to become the new Black Panther. Now, Aldis Hodge was always my number. He was my number one. He was who I really wanted them to go with from the very beginning. And there were other names on my list too, but Aldis Hodge was at the top of my list. It said a fan from Twitter shared that Aldis Hodge, who played Hawkman in the Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, could be the next Black Panther. Check out this post below. Aldis Hodge would be my top nomination to play the next T'Challa / Black Panther post Avengers Secret Wars. In an interview with the Examiner via Comic Vine, Hodges expressed his love for the character of Black Panther. He claimed to have read the comic books, and when Marvel announced that he would join the MCU, the actor felt very ecstatic. He went on to say, "I want the fans to know that the one role I really want to play is Black Panther." Now, come on, Aldis, where the fuck were you been? Where were you during Recast? You'd have been saying it then, though. I appreciate it, though. I'll take it. He said, "I grew up loving the Marvel world and grew up on the martial arts. I still train." Nice. He said, when Black Panther came around, he was almost like an African American Batman. Okay. I can't go into this right now. I'm going to recover this tomorrow, though. This is going to be a topic for tomorrow, for sure. This is going to be, I'm just going to read the article. I'm not going to get my thoughts on this shit right now, because if I do, we're going to be here like another hour, and I can't. So I'm going to just finish the article, then I will read the article again tomorrow, and it'll be a whole segment tomorrow. He says, "I want fans to know that the one role I really want to play is Black Panther. I grew up loving the Marvel world and grew up on martial arts. I still train. When Black Panther came around, he was almost like an African American Batman." He went on to say the actor has also been very vocal about bringing Black Panther into the world because of diversity and representation. Is my microphone on? This is what the anti-recasters be telling us to shut the fuck up for on Twitter. This is what I was arguing with people about literally today on Twitter. This is why it's important. Again, I can't. If I do, I'll be here. Okay. He then said, "How many African American kids?" Oh my God. Okay. All right. Okay. How many African American kids or Latin kids, any kids of any culture or any ethnic group can look at someone up there and say, "Wow, I could be that." We don't have that very often at all. In the comic book world, there are very few African American characters that just need to explore them. Okay, he goes on to say, "As someone who grew up following the story of Black Panther, Hodges revealed he found a certain connection to the character, and it made him feel that he could also become a superhero. I grew up in the Marvel Universe. The Black Panther was my connection to make me feel like I could be a superhero." And again, for all of us that grew up on those Black Panther comics, that ride so hard for the Black Panther, that why we say that it's so important to recast the character, that is why, because we felt a special connection. Don't get me wrong, I grew up on Superman, I grew up on Spider-Man, I grew up on Batman, white. I could not make a personal connection to Superman. I could not make a personal connection to Spider-Man. I could not make a personal connection to Bruce Wayne. I could not make a personal connection to any of the others. Why? Because at the end of the day, they're cool, they're dope, they're superheroes, but they don't look like me. The representation factor is not there. I can't look at Superman and say I see myself. I can't look at Spider-Man and say I see myself. I can't look at Bruce Wayne and say I see myself. The only time I've ever in comic book history been able to look at a character, the first time in comic book history I was able to look at a character and say I actually see myself, I actually could see myself in the fictional world being this character, was in I wasn't born then, but it was when they created the character back in the 60s during the Civil Rights Movement. And again, I've talked about why they created him during the Civil Rights Movement and why that fucking was so significant and important. So for Aldis Hodge to be sitting here basically just saying, not basically, saying what every recaster has been saying for the past 2 years and beyond. It is important for this character to continue because I grew up in the Marvel Universe and Black Panther was my connection to make me feel like I could be a superhero. And the Avengers movies falls right into it because the Ultimate Avengers 2, oh, he knows his shit, comic book series is how Black Panther gets introduced. So it would flow naturally. There it is. Cut the crap. Cut the bullshit. There's no more fucking, I don't know, let Marvel grieve, you're being insensitive. No, you're being a dumbass. The world moves on. I'm not being insensitive because I grieved Chadwick Boseman when Chadwick Boseman passed in 2020. I grieved when you selfishly shoved that shit down my throat when I had to watch it in theater. You made me relive that moment. I grieved when I watched the casket go up. I grieved when I watched his wife talk about it on the 2020 special with whoever the fuck that was. I grieved when I watched the cast grieving and talking about how sad it was. Don't make it sound like the recast crowd is insensitive, because we're not. Don't make it sound like the recast crowd doesn't give a fuck about their feelings, because we do. What we're saying is, it's been enough time. What we're saying is, Hollywood moves on. What we're saying is, we never said you had to insert T'Challa in Wakanda forever. We simply said you never had to kill him. You never had to put him 6 feet under the ground because the character culturally is too fucking important for him not to be on screen. Representation matters, and I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care where you come from. Representation matters. And unless that representation is inserted on screen, we are never going to have superheroes that look like us. Why do you think all those black little girls, when Little Mermaid came out, their parents were filming them? Because they were all elated to see, oh my God, this is a Disney princess that looks like me. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, you guys got Tiana. Fuck you. Because in the Princess and the Frog, Tiana is what? The black princess for what? The first 15 to 20 minutes of the movie? The entire fucking movie, she's a frog. So fuck you on that representation. That's not represent. We can, again, I don't have time for it tonight. I don't. But that's just, cut the bullshit. That's it right there. Aldis Hodge has answered the question and said definitively what we've all been saying for the past 2 years, and that is simply that the character should be continued. And again, he knows his shit. For him to throw in there the Ultimate Avengers, he knows his shit. That's something we want too. We've talked about getting actors and writers and directors and people in here that know these characters, that can bring these characters to life. Okay, and then the last thing it says here for will there be a Black Panther 3? I didn't see this. It says the future of the franchise has been uncertain for quite some time until director Ryan Coogler decided to push through with the sequel. Now that he has finished Wakanda Forever, he addressed via Variety the potential of a third installment. When did he talk about this? Was this old? He said, I love making movies, but to quote a character in our movie, I gave this everything. Oh yeah, this is old. I'm at a place where I think I've got the press tour in me, and then I've got to sit down, and reflect, probably cry a lot, because I've been holding that back. And again, I'm not diminishing Ryan's feelings. If Ryan is still grieving, that's his prerogative. That's his business. I'm not diminishing that man's grief. What I'm saying is, if he's still grieving, then professionally and respectfully remove him from the project, because he's going to still be inserting his personal feelings into the project. We don't need that. Then the last thing it says, he said, probably crying, I've been holding that back, and then from there, figure out whatever's next. It remains to be seen what Marvel Studios has planned for Black Panther, as replacing Chadwick Boseman still seems to affect many fans. Okay, well, like I said, I personally, thank you so much for that, Reese, for sending that in there. I did not know that Aldis Hodges reported on that, but I'm going to do a little bit more research on that, and I am definitely going to be covering this more tomorrow. That's a great story, and I think right now, as pro recasters, We need to be I didn't know this. I did not know that story came out. We need to take that story, and I don't know, maybe I knew, maybe you all have, others have seen this, I haven't though. Take that story needs to be blasted. That needs to be the, Dre, Chill, Theo, we all need to get together. We all need to be discussing this. Nico, we all need to get together, and we need to be discussing this on live together. We cannot let that recast hashtag die, especially when you have an actor that we've been placing in those recast spaces. We've all been saying we want an Aldis Hodge, we want a Damson Idris, we want a John David Washington. We now have one of the names we put forward saying why it's important. We got to rally behind that.